Hello everyone! Today we're going to draw the three-quarter view using the Loomis method. As usual, we start by drawing the Loomis sphere and placing the front view guidelines on it, but this time with a slight tilt to match the head angle. I'll draw the center line through the middle of the sphere with a slight tilt. Perpendicular to it, I'll draw the brow line. Then I'll place the nose line in the lower third of the circle. After that, I'll draw the hairline, using the same distance between the brow line and the nose line. With that same measurement, I'll cut the two side planes that end around the brow line. I'll erase the left side plane because the face is turning toward the left in a three-quarter view. Then I'll move the center line by the same distance. As the head rotates, the guidelines become curved because we're rotating the sphere, not the lines themselves. Next, I'll move the right side plane by the same distance, so the width of the right side of the head becomes visible, just like in the reference. The horizontal guidelines, the brow line, nose line, and hairline, will all move slightly downward. Now I'll go to the point where the center line meets the brow line and extend it with the same tilt to measure the nose. Using that measurement, I'll locate the chin so the forehead, nose, and chin are all equal in length, as long as the reference doesn't have any perspective distortion. We'll cover perspective distortion in future videos. Next, I'll connect the chin to the sphere by drawing a tangent from the left side toward the chin. Then, I'll draw the jaw with a tilted line. The ear will also follow that tilt, starting from the middle of the side plane and ending at the jawline, giving us the overall shape of the face as we connect the sphere to the chin. I'll divide the distance between the brow line and the nose line into 3 equal parts and place the eye line in the upper third. From the left eye, I'll draw a line from the forehead to the cheek to define the planes of this area. Now, I'll draw the ear. It starts at the nose line on the side plane, and its top aligns with the brow line. Sometimes the ear appears shorter if it's farther away from eye level. Next, I'll draw the neck and make sure its width is proportional to the width of the face. If the head proportions are incorrect, the neck will also look wrong. That's why it's important to establish the correct width and height of the face first. Based on that, I'll draw the shadow that the head casts onto the neck. Then I'll draw the hair. I'll start from inside the face along the forehead, and you'll notice it reaches the end of the side plane before continuing down toward the ear. From the outside, I'll relate the hair to the ear and the top of the sphere, which represents the skull. I'll keep the hair slightly higher than the skull before bringing it back toward the forehead near the left eye. Finally, I'll draw the internal hair details. Now that the entire head is constructed, I'll begin drawing the facial features, starting with the nose. I'll first draw the width of the left eyebrow, because it helps me estimate the extension of the nose. Then, I'll build the nose as a simple mass to establish its size, width, and projection. On the underside of the nose, I'll measure its width, then complete the form with the two side planes and the top plane until I reach the starting point of both eyes. I'll constantly compare the width of the nose to the width of the face using proportional measurements between the reference and the drawing. Once the mass is established, drawing the nose becomes much easier. I'll add the nostril, making sure to pay attention to its shape. Then I'll draw the wing of the nose and add the anatomical separation between the wing and the front cartilage. With the nose finished, I can move on to the eyes, using the eye line that I placed in the upper third. I'll begin with the left eye. First, I'll draw the lower eyelid, then the upper eyelid because it controls the eye opening. After that, I'll add the eyelid thickness to make the eye look more realistic, and I'll place the eyelashes on that thickness. I'll draw the upper eyelid crease directly above the upper eyelid. Everything around the eye, such as the eyebrow and the outer contour of the face, will be measured relative to the eye, including adjusting the outer shape of the face around it. Then, I'll draw the iris and add the shadow beneath the eye to give it more depth. Next, I'll move to the right eye. I'll begin from the construction line coming from the end of the nose wing, then draw the tear duct, followed by the inner part of the lower eyelid, and then the upper eyelid to define the eye opening. I'll add the thickness of both eyelids where the eyelashes will be drawn. Then I'll draw the iris, the upper eyelid crease, and the eyebrow. making sure its distance and relationship to the left eyebrow are correct. I'll also pay attention to its shape and extend it toward the side plane before adding the eyebrow thickness at the end. Now I'll move to the mouth. I'll divide the distance from the nose to the chin into 2 equal parts. Then I'll divide the upper half into 2 equal sections to determine the correct distance between the nose and the lips. I'll establish the thickness of the upper lip first, then the lower lip. You'll notice that the upper lip is smaller than the lower lip. I'll compare the height of the lips to the chin below them and make sure the proportions match the reference. To determine the mouth width, I'll project it from the nose using a guideline. Then, I'll draw the mouth starting from the V shape in the center of the upper lip. Bring out the outer edges of the lips, and finally add the shadow beneath the lower lip. After that, I'll refine the outer contour of the face around the nose and the mouth until the face has the correct overall appearance. Now it's time for the final touches. I'll draw the glasses at the end and check how they relate to the facial features. Then I'll add the internal details of the ear. You'll notice that only a small portion of the ear is visible because most of it is covered by the hair. And that's the end of today's video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.